Welcome traders to another live session. Today's August 23rd, 2019, and boy, we have some movement in markets. So here's a bit of a rundown of what we're going to do in today's session. Run over some of the previous setups of the week, and we're also going to talk about what happened with Powell. So we're going to start off with what happened with Powell, because if you were on the charts, you can see, let's look at gold, you can see we had a lot of movement, and there's plenty of reasons. So let's start off with what Trump wants to do. So if you look, read right here, the economy is doing really well. The Federal Reserve can easily make a record-setting price for the dollar. So Trump wants to cut the rates. He doesn't want us to pay higher interest than countries like Germany and Japan, right? So what happens is today China retaliates with their own tariffs on U.S. goods, and about 75 billion. Moving on to what happened after, this is Trump's remarks about the Fed. He's been highly critical of Powell, and this is Powell's reasoning for the recent downturn of the dollar. So the escalation of tariffs, the ongoing trade with US and China, the growing possibility of a hard Brexit, which is more and more likely, and a global slowdown, especially in Germany and China. Okay, and so this is what we have. We are carefully watching developments as we assess the implications for the U.S. outlook and the path of monetary policy, right? And they know there's a growing risk of economic slowdown, and there might be a recession coming. And so if you go up to the next one, you see Powell gives no hint about future rate moves. So although if you look at USDCAD, you can see we had the initial dump and the rebound after Powell said that there's no indicator for further cuts. Continuing, later we had, who is our biggest enemy? This is what he tweeted: Powell or China. So he's been highly critical, and some context: Trump has been dialing up demands for the Fed to aggressively cut rates. His urged the economy would even be better if Feds lowered rates by at least 100 basis points. So it's an aggressive one, and it also leads to a lower economic downturn. So definitely something risky to do, but obviously Powell and Trump are in different pages of the book, and the Fed chief is facing a no-win situation, so Powell is in a tough spot. Moving on, Trump and his tweets, major market movers these days, and says he will respond to the tariffs this afternoon. So if you're in the markets, be cautious, because the tariffs that China just put, Trump will respond to that, and this is after Trump actually removed some products off China's tariff list. He's definitely gonna, has a personality of responding and retaliating pretty aggressively. So be on the lookout for that later in the day. And the Dow dropped 300 points. I think that is about it. Nobody wins a trade war, and this is all pretty much. So Trump is meeting with the trade team. Make sure you follow them on Twitter. That's where they usually send out their updates. It's just the U.S. trade rep. And that'll be it for today in terms of fundamentals. We do have the Jackson Hole meeting happening all day and all weekend, so could be major developments. But hopefully no one was gold short, because this was devastating. We have tapped 1527, 1522. Obviously recent highs. If you're looking to the left, we have bounced to a nice resistance zone, so we definitely look for some sell opportunities, but it is looking like the dollar is primed for weakness. And if you're interested in reading more, I highly recommend daily Forex, daily FX. They have a nice article, US dollar primed for weakness, vulnerable to break USDCAD and pound USD. So let's go over this week's previous setups. So this is pound USD. We caught the short right at the top of the resistance in our support region. We caught around 60 easy pips before we rebounded. And yesterday we were looking for a retrace to either this level or this level, and look for signs of bearish price action to go long. And if I zoom in, we didn't get that bearish reaction here, but when we did come down to this secondary level right here, I'm not going to say it so people can see it, but when we did come here, we did get that that push, the break, retest, and the rejection, and we went a nice long. So you could have actually caught this move and had stops to entry during the news. but this is a perfect spot to enter long and to confirm that we do have a potential reversal on the pound. So easy, 60 pips on the short. Next week we'll probably look for longs. The next key level is right around here. So a good 80 or so, 80 to 120 pips away. 1.23 700. 1.23700. Where we could go next for pound USD. GBPCAD, same story. We caught a nice short off our hourly resistance right here. Perfect entry, very little drawdown. We also caught around 90 to 100 pips. Since then we have rebounded, and this is beautiful price action. So yesterday when the pound pairs rallied, we had this initial push. We had price come back down and retest our previous resistance and shoot up to our next resistance where we're stalling. So you can look for some intraday shorts here, especially because the CAD had positive retail sales today. If we look, so the core retail sales came out better than expected. So definitely some CAD strength involved, and maybe you can have a short next week. But if the pound USD continues to go higher, this is gonna follow. So moving on to USD CAD, another nice short, very low drawdown. Respected technicals pretty well. So our final take profit was down here, but we still bagged around 50 pips. And since then, price surged back in with this trend line, and we came back and we had another short opportunity. So whoever was during the London session, if you saw this, let me zoom in. If you saw this candle right here and this bearish confirmation candle, you could have shorted again like we did earlier in this week. And that's when we had the Fed come out at 10 a.m. And right now we're just being capped by this resistance zone. I'll actually extend it over. So yeah, we're gonna for USD CAD. I mean, I think the Daily Forex article talks about this. We're just waiting for some real break above, but most likely we're gonna see a short back down here. So next week my bias is USD CAD short. Twofold. CAD fundamentals came out great. USD is not looking too nice right now, and we're at some resistance. Could be a good short. Very little drawdown trade. So that's what I see for next week. And right now we're up 150 for the week. And this is NZDUSD shorts we entered a week ago, and we were in some major, consolidation until finally we got that fallout and another 45 to 50 pips. Patience pays, but consolidation box. We have the impulse move, and this thing keeps showing the. I think I can slide it over. So we had the impulse move, we had the retest of the consolidation box again, and a nice fallout, and we had some confluence as well. Since then, I think we should all be out of NZDUSD, and it has rebounded. So if you haven't gotten out, be sure to follow us on Telegram and join my channel t.me/rpforex to make sure you get my trade updates. But a nice gem. It just took a while to play out. Gold last week earlier this week we caught 28 pips on an intraday long, and then we got stopped at the entry, and our move actually ended up playing out 70 pips further in, but it's fine. Since then it just consolidated, and obviously this big news led to this huge move, well over 400 pips, like 400 pips right here. Pretty crazy. Actually, what am I saying? Around 230, but still pretty aggressive. Pretty aggressive move, and I think we'll have a correction move. So I think either way you look at it, you could see a short go down to somewhere here, right around 1409. And GJ, last setup of the week, it was looking like a nice short, especially because of GBPCAD and GBPUSD. But we didn't get that full move. We expected lows down here, but we did get around a 40 to 35 pip move, 35 to 40 pip move. So it's fine. If you're new to the trading room, If you're new to the trading room, we tend to take partials and move stops entry at 25 pips or first take profit. So since then we have gone up to the top of our support region and closed back down. So pound yen is probably going to struggle just because The US dollar is weaker now, so the safe haven currency, the yen and the Swiss, are gonna excel really hard. So a lot of pairs this week, especially Euro yen and USD yen, we're looking like they're gonna gain on the yen and make a recovery. Um, this whole Fed talk has really put a damper on that, especially because the USD is, instead of being the gold standard safe haven, it's going to become, investors are going to stray away from it, and we're going to look at a lot of yen. We can expect a lot of yen and Swiss strength. So GBP yen could go down lower, and we'll see. Even though pound USD would go higher. Uh, Okay, my fault, guys. Just got some news. Anyways, so we could definitely see pound yen strength, USD yen strength next week. Let's just look at USD yen because I'm pretty sure this thing dropped like rocks. Jesus. And we were looking for shorts last week. I think I actually entered this on my personal account. Oh yeah, this was for me, my personal account. My bad. I know you guys don't trade news, but my personal account, I was looking for shorts. You see the analysis here, and damn, and this is actually beautiful. Technicals and fundamentals meet right to the pip, right to the pip. But yeah, what a great trade. So we will be looking for continuation shorts next week if possible. But whoever caught this short, pretty simple. We had a nice channel. Obviously created resistance here, and boom, we had a nice follow. But this was this week's session. It will be on YouTube to stream, to watch at your own leisure later in the day. It was a bit rushed. If you can't tell, I'm actually in the hotel, so I have to be a bit quiet. But we'll be in office next week, all of next week. So bit of an anomaly, but it's fine. We had a great week in the paid group. 6 trades, all winners. We kept it simple, and what a beautiful trade this was. So now that a lot of the fundamentals are out of the way, and we kind of have a direction for the dollar, we can start entering a lot more quality setups like we did this week and take advantage. So this is the last live session of the week, guys. I will see you on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern. On Monday, it is the free session, so the paid and free members can watch it. So be sure to tune in then, and I will see you guys then. Peace.